Good evening. I apologize for being late. My name is Brendan Gill. I am a freeholder here in Essex County for District 5, representing 5 towns: Belleville, Bloomfield, Glen Ridge, Nutley, and my hometown of Montclair. And it's my pleasure to be here tonight with you, and thank you for joining me. I'm a proud Montclair High School alumnus. They get tired of it around here, hearing about it. I talk about it so much. I talk about Montclair so much. It's my hometown where I was born and raised, the community that I make my home now with my family, and proud to recognize anytime I can some of the accomplishments of both our students and our student athletes. So I couldn't be happier tonight to have everyone here with us. So we are, for those of you who don't know, we are here in the historic Essex County Hall of Records Chamber. The Freeholder is the legislative body of county government. There's a 9-member board. I'm one member. I don't think we have anybody else here this evening, not yet, but we'll probably be joined a little bit later by some of the other members of the board. And we function as legislators, reviewing the county budget, the county functions in terms of your county parks, your county roads, the vocational schools, the prosecutor's office and jail are all under the jurisdiction of Essex County, and I'm a member of the board that helps make some of those policy decisions. So with that, again, as a proud Montclair High School alumnus, I'm especially happy tonight to honor members of the state championship Montclair High School Epi squad, who this year proved that they were undisputedly the very best high school Epi squad in New Jersey, having won every major fencing championship available to them. First, the squad won the prestigious Trullo Tournament Championship on January 12th when they combined for a 37-8 record. They won the NJSIAA District 3 Championship on January 27th, compiling a record of 29-4. And finally, on February 24th, they won the 2013 NJSIAA State Championship when the trio combined for a 36-9 record. At this point, I'd like to introduce 3 members of the Epi squad, all of whom are 17-year-old juniors, so we're definitely looking forward to not only this year, but to next year as well for next season. They are first Lucas DeBella. Lucas is here, please come up. Gabriel Cano. And Matthew Shatner. Okay. So I'm just going to read a little bit of individually about each of your accomplishments. You know what you've accomplished, and I'm sure your family who's here tonight is very aware of your accomplishments, but for those who are going to be watching at home, and this is some must-see TV, by the way, for those who will be watching at home, so they're aware of what you've accomplished on the board. First with Lucas, the squad captain, compiled a 90% win record during the regular season competition. He posted a 12-3 record at Trullo, an 8-3 record at the districts, and an 11-4 record in the state championship effort. He maintains a 5-day workout schedule and competes at local and national competitions, including the USOC Junior Olympics and the USFA National Championships. He has also been a volunteer fencing teacher for middle school children since his freshman year. Lucas is the son of his proud parents, Peter and Jody, and the brother of Rachel. Lucas, congratulations. Gabe posted a 14-1 record at Trullo and an undefeated 11-0 record at the districts and a 14-1 record in the state championships effort. He also works out 6 days a week. He's went up to at the New York Athletic Club and was named to the 2013 USA National Cadet Epi Squad on the USA National Cadet Fencing Team. Gabe is the son of his proud parents, Kevin, and I don't want to mispronounce, Jacinta, and the brother of Ethan and Sebastian, and we will talk a little bit more about Gabe's individual accomplishments in just a few minutes. Last but certainly not least, Matthew compiled a 60% win record during the regular season competition. He posted an 11-4 record at Citrullo, a 10-1 record at the districts, and an 11-4 record in the state championship effort. He too maintains a regular workout schedule. They didn't put how many days in here this time, but he also maintains a regular workout schedule, competes at local competitions, and had also taught fencing to middle school children since his freshman year. He is the son of his proud parents, Andrew and Helene, and the brother of Leah and Danielle. The Epi squad was coached by head coach Michael Mateague and assistant coaches Julie Parson and David Wright, and received administrative support from our superintendent, Principal Earl, our athletic director, and the entire Montclair community. On behalf of all my freeholders, we've actually been joined by another colleague from the board, Freeholder Lem Luciano, who represents District 4, but on behalf of all my freeholder colleagues, the residents of Essex County, and especially the residents of Montclair, I have to say I do get to a lot of Montclair High School athletic events. I have not been to a epi or a fencing match, so I will make it a priority next year, to come and watch you perform. But again, on behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board, congratulations to a great year and a great season. Please know that we're proud of you and the community is very proud of you. Congratulations. One for each. And before you sit down, we're just going to highlight some of Gabe's also individual accomplishments for his potential, for his outstanding individual season. In addition, Gabe won the 2013 New Jersey State Individual Epi Championship at the NJSIAA Individual State Fencing Championship held on March 3rd by posting a 13-4 record in pool play before winning a dramatic three-way fence-off for first place. His stellar 2012-13 season included his capturing of every possible title available to him both individually and as a member of his squad, accomplishments that resulted in the Star Ledger naming him to the first team All-State and New Jersey's Boy Fencer of the Year. Congratulations. During his incredible season, Gabe first won the individual Epi Championship at the Citrullo tournament on January 12th, while also winning the Epi Squad Championship with his teammates. He then won the NJSIAA District 3 Individual Epi Championship on January 27th in a fence-off 5-2, as well as sharing in the Squad Championship. And finally, Gabe won his individual state championship, as well as being a member of the state championship Epi Squad. Gabriel began, my son's name is Gabriel, so Gabriel began fencing at the age of 10, and in addition to competing for Montclair High School, he competes at local, national, and international competition, and as we noted, maintains a 6-day workout schedule at the New York Athletic Club. He was named to the 2013 USA National Cadet Epi Squad on the USA National Cadet Fencing Team, was ranked 3rd among cadets, and is currently among 13th among juniors. Again, there's a tremendous individual accomplishments, so both on behalf of your teammates and behalf of the Montclair community, congratulations and best of luck to you in the future. So congratulations. Anyone want to say about the opponents?
So, well, I just wanted to thank everyone helping me, Matthew, and Gabe, to everyone who helped me, Matthew, and Gabe achieve what we did, from our coaches to our team, even to our competitors. Without such a great community, we wouldn't be the great fencers that we are today. Fencing with others, we also got really lucky that we were able to fence with each other. If I had had another person on my team other than these two guys, I don't know if we would have won, because just being with these two, and hopefully maybe they feel the same way about me, hopefully, let me stay focused and let me not really worry about when I lost. I just kept fencing and made sure I was having fun and that we were being positive and we were thinking about what we were doing wrong but not getting upset about it. And that positive attitude really carried us through the whole year and let us achieve what we did. Thank you.
So when I was a freshman, I was running cross country, and my intention was just to run track all throughout high school, even though it made me absolutely miserable. Until one day Lucas convinced me that I should try fencing, and thank God that he did, because I do not know what I would have done with myself otherwise. So thank you, Lucas, because that just completely changed my life and what I do and everything. So yeah, and as Lucas said, it was honestly an honor to fence with you guys all season. I wouldn't have had anyone else on my team. And I'd like to thank the whole team, my club coaches, my high school coaches, and probably most of all my parents. So thank you.
Okay, hi. I'd just like to say that it's a great honor to be here at the moment, and I believe we fenced really well this season, and I just can't wait for next season. I believe that we're going to do just as well as we did this time, and I just can't wait. It's going to be a great time next year. So, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leonard Luciano, and I'm the Essex County District 4 freeholder. I first want to say that I apologize. I was running a few minutes late, so I wasn't here to be here for the Montclair fencers, but my congratulations to you, and I wish you the best of luck in all your successes. I am here to actually honor another fencing champion. His name is George Haglin. But before I do that, I just want to talk. I know my colleague must have informed you a little bit about county government and told you that there's a 9 freeholder board. He may not have made mention that 4 of us are at large. And the reason I tell you this is, let me just slow down and back up a little bit. I'm a public school teacher by trade. I love government and politics, and I'm happy to be an elected official. But one of the things I really like to do is get up in front of a class or in front of a group and educate. So being I have some students in front of me, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education about county government. We're a 9 freeholder board, and we are the legislative body here in Essex County. We also have the county executive, who serves as the executive branch and the administration. We're made up of 9 freeholders, 4 are at large, which means they represent all 22 municipalities in Essex County. There's 22 towns, boroughs, or cities in Essex, and so they're on the ballot and they represent all 22. And then we have 5 district freeholders, and those 5 district freeholders have split up the county like a pizza, and it's based on population. And I happen to be the District 4 freeholder, which represents the largest geographic area. It's sort of like the West Essex Rim, and the 11 West Essex towns, including the town where the high school of Newark Academy is. And my championship fencer who is here is a fencer at Newark Academy. So I am honored to be the one to give the presentation. At that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask George Haglin to come up and stand next to me, if you don't mind, George. I'm going to read to you the wonderful accomplishments that George has. And he's only a freshman, right? Wow. So, he's a 15-year-old freshman at Newark Academy, and he won the 2013 New Jersey State Individual Foil Championship in a thrilling fence-off at the NJSIAA Individual State Fencing Championship on March 3rd. In addition to his state championship, George also won the gold medal in foil at both the District 3 and Prep State Championships, completed his regular season with an outstanding record of 19-1, and was named to the first team All-State by the Star-Ledger. Quite an accomplishment. George began fencing at the age of 8.5. He began fencing competitively when he joined the Lucetti Fencing USA at the age of 11, and currently fences on the high school, national, and international levels. At the national level, George has competed in all cadet under 17, junior under 20, and Division I competitions. He placed in the top 8 in the past 2 national cadet competitions, including a 5th place finish in the cadet category at the Junior Olympic Championship. He earned a silver medal in the junior category in the Junior Olympic Championships and is presently ranked number 11 in the nation. He earned a gold medal at the Regional Open Circuit in Evanstown, Illinois, and in Division I competition this year, he has consistently been ranked as one of the top 32 fencers and was one of only 5 cadets who qualified to compete in the Division I National Championship held in April in Richmond, Virginia. At the international level this year, George fenced for the U.S. as a cadet fencer in Budapest, Hungary, Halle, Germany, where he earned 5th place medal, and Pisa, Italy, and is currently ranked number 3 among all cadet fencers in the country. Aside from fencing, George's favorite academic subject is math. He is currently enrolled in BC Calculus and is also a member of the men's chorus and robotics team. He also volunteers his Friday afternoons to help residents of Care 1 in Livingston, and his favorite pastime is photography. George is the son of his proud parents, Benjamin and Georgia, who I just was able to meet. I thank you for being here. The brother of Eleanor, and resides with his family in Tewksbury. George, on behalf of myself and the entire board of chosen freeholders, I honor and congratulate you, and I can't say enough for the outstanding season that you've had. And considering your accomplishments as a freshman, I'm sure and certain you'll be visiting us here in years to come. Congratulations. Before I pass the microphone over to George to say a few words, I just want to add that when we talk about sports, athletics, academics, fine arts, and you see students excel to this level, you know that not only have they been dedicated, but you also have to remember the families and your parents, I'm sure, that have spent countless hours and dedication, alongside you and worked with you. So I can't thank you as parents and family members being here and putting in the time that it takes to excel and be a champion fencer.
All right. First, thank you, and thank you to the whole Essex County Board of Freeholders. I'd like to thank my coach, Luchetti, and of course my parents who have always been there for me. This is a great privilege, a very unexpected one, and today I'm being honored as a great fencer. But I'd like to tell you a story of a truly great fencer. Dean Citrullo was born in Newark. He went to Barringer High School and then continued on to study at Seton Hall University. He was an All-American foil and saber fencer. And then he served his country, a war hero, Purple Heart. He won a Purple Heart. He served his country in World War II as an Air Force pilot. He was shot down and taken as a German prisoner of war. He escaped later, and then he proceeded to fence in the 1948 Olympics, where he won a bronze medal in saber. He taught fencing to actors, including Errol Flynn. He came back, coached at Newark Academy. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, and this was a very great man, and I have some enormous shoes to fill. I don't know if I'll live up to his legacy, but I plan on trying. And finally, I'd like to once again thank everyone who helped me throughout the season.
That was a very inspiring story, and thank you, George, for sharing that with us. Again, like I said, I had mentioned that I was a few minutes late, so I know that my colleague Freeholder Gill had started us off. I don't know if he made mention of our support staff that is here. We have our Freeholder clerk, Deborah Davis Ford, and we have our public relations officer, Gary Kressig, and all the rest of the staff that you see here working to make all this possible. And lastly, what I would like to do is introduce the co-sponsor of this resolution with me. And this is our Freeholder Vice President, who actually resides in Livingston, which is the township that Newark Academy is located. And that is our Freeholder Vice President, Patricia Siebold.
Thank you very much, Freeholder Luciano, and congratulations to you. And of course, I pass Newark Academy practically every single day. And you'll have to forgive me for being so late. I had a bad accident and I had a fall, which actually took place at the Performing Arts Center in Newark in the parking lot. And I'm very slow in getting around still, and I tried to get here on time, and I apologize, but congratulations, and I think that your success is just marvelous. I wish you the very best.
Freeholder, don't worry. George is only a freshman, so I am certain he will be back here next year.
Meeting called to order. Please stand for the salute to the flag. Freeholder Gill, will you please lead us in the salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Present.
Freeholder Bobadilla, absent. Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Here.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Owens.
Here.
Freeholder Vice President Siebold.
Here.
Freeholder President Watson.
Here. I have before me, Madam Clerk, from the clerk, that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay. Madam Clerk, then let's go to the public comment on agenda items for action only. Tonight we'll vote on ordinance number O-2013-00036 and resolution number 5 only. So if there's any member of the public who would like to comment on ordinance O-2013-00006 or resolution 5, please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Anyone from the audience who would like to speak on the agenda items for action only? Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there is no one wishing to speak at this time. Let's go back to the member of the public. Any member of the public who would like to comment on any issue. You can comment on any issue. Please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 2 minutes to speak.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Lev Zilbermans, Zilbermants. Okay. The issue that I'm talking about is disabled student concerns at Essex College. I would like to know what can be done about the following problem. You will see at this piece of paper that has been distributed that Essex College has 15,000 students. Of these, 10%, according to the college website, are classified as disabled. The math shows you that there is 1,500 disabled students. Now, the issues that they would like to address is that the handicapped ramp is not run lit at night. There's an automatic lack of automatic opening of doors both in the bathrooms and when you go into the school. So someone has to hold the door while handicapped students in wheelchairs, crutches, and walkers get in. There's slippery floors causing students to fall. The physical education building does not have elevators, which means that you have to go all the way from the back where there's a ramp, and then there's snow that causes problems when there's the rain that causes problems too. And we need more money for disabled student specialist office because we need tape recorders, note takers, and things like that at Essex County College. So I'm here to ask you the question, what could the Board of Chosen Freeholders do about this problem? Because I myself happen to be a disabled student. As you can see, I'm wearing a hearing aid, but I'm lucky enough to walk. And some of the other people are not. They use crutches, wheelchairs, and walkers. What can you do something about it? That's my question.
Okay, normally we don't respond while the speaker is at the mic, but you will receive an answer in writing within the next week. And hopefully we'll be able to address these questions. Of course, we will have to be in touch with Essex County College to see what plans they have and to see if there's anything that the county...
So you want my address? Is that it?
Yes, we will need your address. I thought you placed it on the record. If you didn't, would you give that to us now?
Okay, I can give it to the clerk.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Thank you.
Madam President?
Yes.
I know we don't respond, but just through you, I want to let you and our audience know the Essex County Board met yesterday with the President, the County Executive, and there was an individual who asked the same question to the President of the College and the County Executive. So that board is also going to be addressing these same issues.
Well, that's why I say we would address him, and we would do that in writing, and your comments will be included in the response.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you will receive a response from us. Will you get the address for me, please, Gary? Thank you. Okay, do we have anyone else from the audience who would like to speak at this time? If not, Madam Clerk, are there any, let's move to ordinance on second reading. Are there any ordinance or resolutions on second reading?
Madam President, there is one for listing only.
Okay, and that ordinance is, Madam Clerk?
It's ordinance number O-2013-00005, ordinance approving plan amendment to the Essex County District Solid Waste Management Plan pertaining to LIMS4 Incorporated.
Okay, we are listed, and Madam Clerk, let's move to the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00006. Please read it.
A public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00006, bond ordinance providing for the improvement of the Essex County Vocational School in and by the County of Essex, New Jersey, appropriating $4 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4 million bonds or notes of the county for financing such appropriation.
Okay, I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance number O-2013-00006 open. If there is any member of the public who would like to comment for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, let the record show that there is no one from the public wishing to speak at this time. Mr. Polybeck, do you have any questions on this ordinance?
No, just to comment that the board has gone through this a number of times. We did have a presentation from members of the Vocational School Board and Dr. Pinella, and there was a fairly well-attended press conference on this last week. This, you'll recall, is this bonding has to do with the renovation of the current facility and the new classroom space across the street at the vocational school. And this is something that the county was lucky enough to receive funding and approval from the state of New Jersey, where 90% of the project costs, I believe, will be reimbursed by the state of New Jersey. And the county is basically fronting the money on this and will receive, I think, as part of debt service payments, the state funding. I'm sure Mr. Chilella can expand on that if necessary, but that's the gist of what this bonding is for.
Very good. Before we move forward, Madam Clerk, Freeholder Johnson is present, and before I call ex-freeholders for questions, just let me see if Mr. Chilella have any additional comments on to what Mr. Polybeck just said.
No, Madam President. Just to add that Mr. Polybeck is correct. The State Department of Education has approved the debt service aid program, and the county will be receiving 90% back on this debt service payment.
Okay, freeholders and freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Thank you very much, Madam President. That pretty much answers what I was going to ask, because I know that the governor through the state is going to give us 90%. Is that 90% of the money that is allotted here, the issuance of the bonds, or is that an additional amount of money? Or is this additional over the 90%? I'm not clear in my own mind how that works.
Through you, Madam President, the project is estimated to be $4 million.
That's the entire project?
That's the entire project.
Okay.
We will receive 90% of that back from the state.
Of the $4 million?
That is correct.
Even though we are getting the bonds or notes, we'll get that money back to
We
pay
will-
off the bonds? Is that how it works?
Correct. We will get back the 90% each year earmarked as debt service payment on the bond.
Okay, so it's part of that money. That's
Yes.
what I was really curious about, whether that's the money we're concerned with, and the 90% is part of it. Very good.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Okay, freeholders, do I have additional questions, comments? For the record, Madam Clerk, freeholder Bobadilla is present. If we have no further questions from the freeholders, do I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on ordinance number O-213-00006 and moved by moved by Vice President Sebo, second by freeholder Owens. Okay, freeholder, do I have the same mover and second
Yes.
to approve the ordinance?
Yes.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla? Yes. Freeholder Clark, absent Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any ordinances on first reading?
Madam President, there are no ordinance on first reading.
Okay, then let's move to Resolution 1, and Mr. Sheller, will you give us a Resolution 1? Would you please explain it?
Yes, Madam President, thank you. This is Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Human Resources, approval for the appointment of Transamerica Life Insurance Company to provide voluntary benefits to county employees June 1st through May 31st, 2016. As you know, as part of the this year's renewal with our broker, we asked that our broker solicit voluntary benefits for our employees. Proposals were submitted by a number of providers. Transamerica was the highest rated for price, for underwriting, quality, customer service, and financial stability. These programs that will be offered to our employees are at no cost to the County of Essex. They're strictly voluntary. The programs that will be offered are whole life insurance, short-term disability, critical illness, as well as advanced personal accident insurance. We do have a representative from Connor Strong, Mr. DeBella, that can address the board to go into any further details to help us unfold this program. We are utilizing, or I should say Connor Strong are utilizing the Winston benefits as well as Mr. Thomas Collins insurance to assist in the voluntary benefits program. At this time, if the board has no other questions, I'll ask Mr. DeBella to come up to the mic.
Very good. Just come forward, please, and state your name and affiliation for the record, please.
Certainly will. Good evening, members of the Freeholder Board. Joseph DeBella with Connor Strong and Buckaloo. It's very nice to have the opportunity to present to you again. As the administrator indicated, our firm represents the county as it relates to... Is it not on? Thank you. It's always tough for the short guys like me. Our firm has the privilege of representing the county on the employee benefit side. And upon our reappointment last year, we were also asked and participated and competed to assist the county in putting together a voluntary benefit program. And that's exactly what the administrator described. Very briefly, voluntary benefits are insurance coverages that the employees themselves would be able to purchase using their own dollars. not county dollars, but get access to other personal insurance that may be of benefit to them. And they could achieve getting those coverages at discounted prices that they would be unable to buy on their own if they tried to get them through the private market because of the sheer size of the number of people that make up the county's workforce. And previously, the county made various voluntary benefits available to county employees, but it was not done in an organized fashion, if you will, where there was an RFP process and a market solicitation to ensure that the carriers had been thoroughly vetted, that there had been a transparent solicitation for their business, and to ensure that if the county was going to make these benefits available to its employees, that the right due diligence had been done. So at the direction certainly of the Human Resource and the Administrator's Office, our firm did a proposal process to the marketplace for insurance companies that provide voluntary benefits. And that was a part of our arrangement and our agreement with the county in being your employee benefits advisor. We went to all of the principal markets that are involved in providing voluntary benefits. And those carriers included organizations like AFLAC, Allstate Insurance, Boston Mutual, Colonial, Transamerica, Trustmark, and Unum. Those are all properly rated insurance organizations that make voluntary benefits available. And as the administrator suggested, after a review of their financials and terms and conditions and the coverages and the pricing that they would make available to the county employees, it was our recommendation, based on the merit, that Transamerica be selected as the new insurance company that would be offered to employees of the county to decide if they want to buy, on a, quote, voluntary basis, any of these coverages. It is entirely voluntary. Employees can make informed decisions about these programs and about what they may do for them personally and decide to buy the coverage or not. And our organization, in conjunction with Winston Financial, who is our partner as it relates to helping distribute and communicate and educate folks with respect to these coverages, and that of Thomas Collins Insurance, will be meeting with employees at the direction of the administrator in the HR office to explain these coverages, to make these programs available, and if it's the right individual fit for a county employee, they may choose to buy one of the coverages or not. If they choose to buy one of the coverages, the county will take a payroll deduction from those individuals and pay that premium to Transamerica. That's really the involvement with respect to the county. As the administrator suggested, the policies will include whole life insurance, critical illness insurance, personal accident, and disability coverages. These are important policies to individuals that might not have the ability to get them on their own. And if they chose to potentially buy them on their own, they certainly would not be able to enjoy the pricing advantages that we can get when we take the entire size of all of the employees of the county. And so we are in the midst of working through the logistical arrangements with Mr. Abramowitz's office about meeting with employees, educating employees, communicating the availability of these coverages. And we wanted to just share with you this evening the transparent process that we went through in soliciting these proposals from the various carriers and make you aware, certainly as we promised we would, our progress and where we think things are at this point. We believe that these will be value-added coverages to the employees of the county, and that it will be our role to make certain that your employees and their family members can make informed personal decisions about whether these options and these coverages will be good for themselves or not. And we'll also be able to feel very comfortable that on behalf of the county, we sought all of the appropriate insurance companies who could provide the best terms at the best price for your employees and their dependents. And with that, I'll wrap up my remarks, and I'd be delighted to answer any questions that anyone may have.
Okay, before I ask the question, do you have any questions for the
I think I get the gist of it, Mr. DiBella. Thank you. Just a quick question. Transamerica is the one group that you vetted and are recommending to the county. Obviously, this is a voluntary program, and due to economies of scale, I guess, the county employee can get a benefit that he or she otherwise wouldn't be able to get out on the open market, correct?
That is absolutely correct, Councilor.
So this will be the one company that the county is putting out there. I don't want to say provide because it's a voluntary benefit, but this is the one company. There won't be multiple companies, Transamerica, Allstate, AFLAC, all vying for the same
That is
dollar.
correct.
Just one.
We went through that vying process
Right.
when they all were able to submit proposals to provide coverage to the county's employees, and it was through that process that Transamerica came in first place, if you will, as it relates to cost and coverage.
Okay, and that's exactly my point, is based on your evaluation of cost and coverage stacked up against the other providers.
That's right. And if I may, I believe that all the freeholders have in their possession through their packets of material this summary that we put together that has the backup material for your review at your convenience, what I described, who we went to, the process that we used, and of course we're certainly indebted to the administrator and the HR office for their help and guidance throughout this process.
Thank you.
Okay, freeholders, questions?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yeah, I want to relate. I heard you mention, you know, the employee benefits, and you referenced county dollars and individual dollars, and this being a voluntary. What has been Connor Strong's relationship to minority participation prior to this? This seemed to be voluntary. These county dollars that you referred to, what is the minority participation?
Well, on the county's part, for the core benefit coverage that we had at various times engaged with minority partners, but we've had projects and opportunities to do that. On the voluntary benefit program, we are, as I mentioned, partnering with Mr. Collins' firm. On the core county coverages themselves, the RFP did not have a stipulation to have a minority partner engagement, and we complied and responded with that RFP. And we have sort of the full range of services in our suite of capabilities. And so we are not currently partnering with a minority broker on the county-sponsored program for which county dollars are involved.
In past contracts, did that require that you have minority?
In the past, it did. In prior RFPs, it did have that requirement. In fact, Mr. Collins was our partner when the county had that requirement. More recently, the most recent request for proposal did not have that stipulation, and when we reconstructed our arrangement, we knew that as it related to the voluntary benefits, that we would be partnering with Mr. Collins, and so he would remain actively involved with us. So we're sort of looking at the core coverage and the voluntary as sort of an integrated platform of benefits that we're providing. So from our judgment, Freeholder, we still have a strong commitment to using local and minority firms.
And that's good. But I guess it would have to be in the contract to require you to have minority participation.
It would, but I can tell you that, in fairness, the voluntary arrangement did not have that requirement, but we wanted to have the participation from a local minority firm, and that's why we did it on the voluntary benefits.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair.
Ralph, I don't think we have the package that the gentleman just spoke about. Could you make sure that clerk receive that package and she'll distribute it to the freeholders?
Certainly.
Thank you. Freeholders, additional questions?
Madam President, let me just add one other item to this benefit program. The beauty is that not only will this enable employees to obtain coverages in the 4 areas that I had highlighted, but it's also portable. If they decide to leave the County of Essex, they could take that benefit with them and continue to keep that benefit, which is another benefit to the overall program.
Right, and I think in the leadership, one of my questions, I wanted to know, could the freeholders benefit
Absolutely.
from this package if they wanted to buy in? That, and I was told, and it still stands, right, Ralph?
That is correct.
The freeholders or any other party working for the county would be able to apply.
Absolutely.
Thank
All
you.
county employees, yes.
Freeholder Owens.
Yes, was this negotiated with the union and together with the county?
Sure. This is not a negotiable or bargained item. So the voluntary benefits are just made available to employees. It is not a part of your collective bargaining obligation to make these coverages available or not. What I will say with deference to the administration is that we did attend and make a presentation to Labor Roundtable. And there was wide participation from all of the bargaining units. And even prior to approaching you all, We had that labor roundtable where we gave them a very detailed presentation of these coverages, and in fact, many of the unions have called us and said, will you come to our union meetings and do separate presentations so that our members can become more aware of this. So while it's not a collectively bargained program, we certainly, at the direction of the administrator, have made ourselves available and have shared all of this information with all of the labor leaders.
Thank you.
Freeholders, additional questions, comments? Freeholder Bobadilla?
Reading the material provided, I see that you're providing 4 core products.
I didn't hear your word.
I said, reading the material that was provided, you're providing 4 core products.
That is correct. 4 voluntary products. That's right.
Now, should an employee maybe want to explore an additional product, what are their options?
If they wanted to get something that was not presently available, they could certainly attempt to pursue that on the individual market. We selected these 4 products really based on feedback that the county has received over a number of years from employees, really the most dominant products that folks were looking for. From time to time, individuals may look for pet insurance, for identity theft insurance, but generally, even long-term care insurance, but generally the participation in those has been much smaller, and it's tough to get preferred rates without getting the critical mass that we know that we would need to achieve. We know that many employees feel as if they don't have enough disability insurance, and heaven forbid they became disabled, they'd have a very hard time making ends meet while they were unable to work. The same is true of disability, or excuse me, of life insurance. The whole life product is something that would be very difficult for some folks to get because under the county's voluntary program, individuals will not be required to fill out a health questionnaire. So if somebody wanted to get life insurance on their own, they will have to go through some underwriting procedures that may take into consideration their age and their health status. Under this program, they will not have to do that unless they want to buy additional levels that might be above a certain dollar amount. So we selected a Freeholder these programs really based on what we know the large populations have been most interested in. And if, by the way, if Mr. Abramowitz gets lots of feedback from county employees that there's interest in other products in the future, then we would go to the market, we would do a solicitation, and we would come back with recommendations about add-ons to new products. If, for example, there was real interest in pet insurance or identity theft insurance or so on, we'd be happy to go out and make arrangements for those as well in the future.
Freeholder Vice President Seaborn.
Thank you. President Watson, did I hear you say that freeholders would be able to buy in if they wish to?
Yes.
I did hear you correctly.
Yes, you did.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your consideration. I do want to mention Tammy Brown, also a managing director from our office, is here. Ms. Brown is very involved on a day-to-day basis. I know many of the freeholders have worked with Ms. Brown in the past in these particular meetings, and she's really the engineer and the architect behind all the things that we put together. So appreciate your consideration.
And do you have the...
Yes. We also do have our partner, Curry Bradley, who is a principal at Winston Financial, is here. And obviously, Curry, do you want to introduce your colleague? And Tom Collins, who has had a long relationship with the county through our organization and others, will also be instrumentally involved from an enrollment perspective. So that's the totality of our team.
Very good.
It's good to see you all. Thank you for your consideration, and we'll continue to take our day-to-day direction from the administrator and the HR office.
And thank you for the information provided to the freeholders.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Very informative. Okay, Madam Clerk, additional questions, freeholders? None? Let's list Resolution 1 and wrap. Let's take 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, Madam President. 2, 3, and 4 are all out of the County Administrator's Office, seeking the approval of this board as insurance broker services. The first one is the appointment of Massey Agency to perform the insurance broker services relative to the county's commercial pollution liability programs, surety bond programs, and commercial crime insurance program. I would like to highlight that previously, or in years past, this broker services was provided by Connor Strong. This year, the Massey Agency will be handling this. Resolution number 3 is the appointment of the Business Government Insurance Agency, known as BGIA, to perform broker services relative to the county's correctional property insurance program for Essex County. BGIA has been providing this service last year to the County of Essex. And finally, number 4 is the approval and the appointment of Connor Strong Buckaloo to perform insurance broker services relative to the county's excess liability, commercial property, excess medical professional liability, as well as excess public officials liability. We do have representatives from all firms here this evening. If the board has any questions pertinent to either or all of the agencies.
Okay, you want to take representative from 2 first, Ralph?
Sure. If I could ask the representative from Massey Agency.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Ramel Massey. I'm president of Massey Insurance Agency. We have been headquartered here in Essex County and in the city of Newark for 38 years. That's quite an accomplishment. For the past 6 years, we've had the pleasure of working with your risk manager, Frank Delgado, providing your commercial crime coverage as well as surety bonds for the county. This year, we've had the opportunity to expand our involvement with the county by adding the pollution coverage to the list of coverages that we provide for you. As a minority woman-owned business here in the county, I would like to thank you for your commitment to minority businesses here. Again, we've had the opportunity to work with you for many years, and we look forward to continuing our involvement with the county.
Very good. Before you sit down, Freeholders, questions, comments? No, we're just happy to see you.
Thank you.
Very good. No questions, and Ralph, let's go to 3. You call it.
Yeah, if I could have the representative from BGIA come up to the mic. Mr. Edwards.
Steve Edwards with Business Governmental Insurance Agency. We've represented the county, the correctional facility specifically, for the past several years. We're based in Woodbridge, work with a lot of towns, school districts throughout Essex County, Livingston and West Orange. We've done a lot of work for Newark Board of Ed over the years, and our focus is public entities throughout the state. So been involved working with Frank more recently on a lot of Sandy-related claims, unfortunately, but we're working through all of those many claims, and look forward to hopefully working with the county again for the upcoming year.
Very good. Freeholders, questions, comments? None? Thank you.
Thank you,
for
Madam
your
Chair.
appearance this evening. Ralph, let's go to 4.
And the last broker is Mr. Rubosh from Connor Strong Buckaloo.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm Bill Rubosh from Connor Strong. I'm in the Public Entity Division for Property and Casualty Insurance, and I've been working with Frank since 2004 as well. Connor Strong, as you probably know, is a very large writer of public entity business. We do a lot of joint insurance fund business. We started the first county insurance JIF program back in 2010. And we enjoy the partnership we have here with Essex County, and we look forward to many more going forward.
Okay, would you just do me a favor and repeat your name again, the recorder?
Joseph Rubosh,
Okay,
Vice
spell that
President.
last name for us.
H-R-U-B-A-S-H.
Very good, thank you. Freeholders, before Mr. Rubosh sit down, do you have any question, comments? Freeholder Gill.
Thank you, Madam President. A question just regarding the different term periods. And I want to make sure I'm using the proper language to describe this. But for example, between the surety bond program and the correctional facility, will that have any impact on the cost that the county will have to pay based on the commissions that are owed to the vendor?
Am I making sense?
Mr. Delgado, will you put your name on the record for us, please?
Frank Delgado, County Risk Manager. The county's insurance programs have various expiration dates. That's why you see different term periods. The correctional facility is a January 1st renewal.
Okay.
The majority of the coverages renew June 1st, and our commercial crime policy renews August 1st. Our surety bonds, one expires December 1st, and the others are usually a January 1st. That's why there's all different term periods in these proposed contracts.
Okay.
Freehold, continue.
So ultimately, so the answer is no.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, Freehold's additional questions, comments? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And Mr. Delgado, again, as always, we thank you for the service that you rendered to this county, and especially the information, the information that you bring to this Freeholder Board when we need that information most. Thank you. So, Madam Clerk, let's list 2, 3, and 4, and wrap. Madam Clerk, we have Resolution 5. The administration is requesting action. Will you read it into the record, please?
Resolution 5, Department of Corrections Shared Services Agreement between the County of Passaic and the County of Essex for the provision of supervision and security by Essex County for Passaic inmates, detainees in the Locke Medical Unit at East Orange General Hospital, May 20th, 2013 to May 19th, 2014.
Okay, Ralph, you want to explain the resolution and tell us why you're requesting action?
Yes, Madam President. Primarily, the old agreement with Passaic County is running out, and we need to have an agreement in place. This is at East Orange Hospital. As you know, the County of Essex has provided this lock unit not only for our county inmates, but we've also reached out to Union and Hudson and Passaic. This contract is up just for Passaic. Just to give you an idea of 2012, the revenue that the county received back by offering this program was roughly $103,495. The way the contract is structured is the Passaic County will pay Essex County a per diem rate of $335 for the first 5 days of an inmate being housed at East Orange General Hospital. The per diem rate drops to $167.50 for days 6 or more. There is an additional $49 per hour charge for an officer for a higher level security, and this service has proved beneficial to the other counties. It's been a benefit not only to Essex County, but also for East Orange General Hospital. The medical bills are paid directly to East Orange Hospital through these other municipalities, or counties, I should say. So they are only getting reimbursed for securing the inmates that these counties bring to East Orange General Hospital. We do have Mr. Ortiz, our director, if the board has any additional questions.
Mr. Ortiz, you want to come to the mic just in case the board have any questions? Do you want to add to Ralph's comments before I ask for comments from the board?
I just would like, Al Ortiz, Director, Essex County Correctional Facility, that this has been a very positive union of the various counties, in this case here at Passaic. It's mutually beneficial. We have to man and staff that unit anyway, so it actually works very well for them and for us. And it's actually cheaper for them, and we stand to gain from it.
Mr. Polybeck.
Hi, Director Ortiz. I think you may have answered one of the questions. We currently have an agreement or a similar agreement with Passaic County and Union and Hudson there now, right?
Correct.
And for the other counties, inmates or detainees who are in there, we have Essex County officers who are there providing the security?
Exactly. They turn them over to us. We manage them, classify them, conduct the total security of it. They just drop them off to us, and when they're ready to go, they go right back, and Passaic, in this case, picks them up.
So we don't do the transport. Passaic will transport the individuals to the hospital, and then we take custody?
Correct.
All right. Now,
with the total number of beds there, I know we've discussed this before, I just wanted you to go through it if you could. Having the other counties share in this service that we have with East Orange doesn't impact availability for Essex inmates, does it?
Absolutely not. First of all, Essex has the first preference in any situation. We have 14 beds, of which 4 of them are psychiatric beds that are for only Essex only. So that leaves a net of 10 medical beds. So if we had 10 beds that were, 9 beds that were full and Essex or another county wanted it, we get the first preference. Or we can watch them at the rate of $49 of the overtime hours to watch them there, or they can come watch them themselves. So we have that. We never are shortchanged.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, freeholders, do you have any questions or comments? Freeholder Bobadilla, then I come back to Freeholder Gill.
What would you say is the average length of stay?
I'm happy to tell you that the East Orange Hospital, they have a turnaround of anywhere between, depending on the illness, if it's very serious, it could be beyond that, maybe ICU, which then kicks in that overtime situation. But their average stay is less than 5 days. That's one of the appealing things, because it's a correctional individual, and they strive to manage his health care and get him back to where he belongs.
And Madam President, if I could just add, I think today's census was 1 Essex County inmate and 3 from Hudson.
Okay. Freeholder Gill?
Thank you, Madam President. I think our council asked this question, just so I understand, Director. Is there a coverage in this contract for outpatient detainees? So, meaning, I guess, when they're transported, I think we just answered, it's not under, say, county picks up, drops off. Let's say, I guess my question is, do we receive money from the county if it's not an inpatient situation? Someone's brought to East Orange General
For outpatient
care. Service.
No, we don't do that, no.
Is there a reason we haven't explored that as an option, or?
Well, the genesis of the program was the lock unit, so as long as the inmate was admitted, they would fall under our areas of watching them and being charged those municipalities. If they're there on outpatient services, they have medical arrangements with other medical providers,
right.
Which really would not need to have our services included.
Additional question, comments, freeholders? Thank you for the information that you presented to freeholders this evening.
My pleasure, and good evening.
Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second? Moved by Freeholder Beasley. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Johnson. No additional question, comments, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano? Absent Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Ralph, let's take resolution 6, 7. Let's take 6 and 7, 8 and 9. We can go to 9.
Madam President, before
Yes.
we do that,
Freeholder
I'd like to be
Johnson.
For ordinance number 1,
Okay.
2013-0005, for me in the affirmative on it.
Okay, on the ordinance?
Yes.
Okay. And you want to vote
Yes.
yes because you wasn't here?
Yes.
Okay. That's right, you came in after the vote. Thank you. Okay, Ralph, let's take 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Madam President, the Department of Citizen Services Division of Welfare, this is a contract with Eternity Funeral Services to provide for direct indigent, unclassified burial services. We are exercising a 2-year option. For the past 2 years, the county expended roughly $71,880 for these indigent burials, and this is coming out of our operating funds. Resolution number 7, Office of the Sheriff, contract award to Nomad Global Communication Solutions, the lowest responsible bidder, to provide one 2013 emergency response mobile command vehicle, amount not to exceed $124,000. This is funded totally by Homeland Security. Resolution number 8 is a insertion of revenue from the state of New Jersey, the Office of Attorney General, Division of State Police. This is under the FEMA mitigation grant, Office of the Sheriff, $230,860. This grant to the county was as a result of the Hurricane Irene that caused damage to equipment in the Sheriff's dispatch unit, and as well as their interoperability system. This will help to defray the cost to repair those areas of dispatch and equipment that was damaged. Resolution 9, another insertion of revenue from the state of New Jersey. Homeland Security, this grant is to the Sheriff's Office, $254,062 I should say. Again, as a result of Hurricane Irene, we did realize flooding at our Office of Emergency Management facility. This money helps defray the cost of the damage that was caused from that storm, which resulted in carpentry, chairs, drywall, workstations, partitions, copier, printer, as well as wiring for phones and computers.
Very good. Okay, freeholders, question, comments on Resolution 6? Freeholder Bobadilla?
Are we required to give out a public notice prior to these burial services?
I'm not sure what you mean about the public
Are we
notice.
required to put something on the newspaper, for example?
I'm not certain, but what I will ask our welfare division to come back with is the overall protocol of the program for the freeholders, so that you have the entire program.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll get that for you in writing. Additional question, comments, freeholders on Resolution 6, 7? Eight and 9. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's list 6, 7, 8, and 9. We have no additional questions on those items. And Ralph, let's go to 10, 11, 12, and 13, all insertions from the county budget.
13, this revenue comes from the Attorney General's Office, Division of State Police. This is under the Paul Coverhill Forensic Science Improvement Grant, $22,735. This grant will help the Sheriff's Department improve their ballistic laboratory with equipment, testing supplies, training seminars, as well as travel expense. I would highlight that this is about $2,000 more than the county received last year under this grant program. Resolution number 11, revenues from the Attorney General's Office. This is for the Victims Witness Advocacy Program. This is the funding will help to provide for a new part-time administrative support to assist the efforts of the advocates and the legal assistants with this program. And the amount is $113,787. We also receive the base contract for this service in the amount of $497,191. So this is supplemental funding. Resolution 12, revenue from the State of New Jersey, Human Services. This is for our Division of Employment and Training, $790,011. These funds are to be utilized to provide a wide array of welfare reform services, including case management, transportation initiatives, and transportation-related expenses. The breakdown is for TANF clients, roughly $1.5 million. For case management services, roughly $8.2 million. and for transportation-related services, a little over $2 million. This is the same amount that the county received last year. And Resolution 13, revenue from the state of New Jersey, Environmental Protection, Division of Parks and Forestry. This is to our Department of Public Works. This is a $3,000 grant, and this is for reimbursements to the County of Essex for our Community Forestry Management Plan.
Okay, freeholders, questions, comments on Resolution 14?
10.
I'm sorry, 10. No questions, no comments. 11. Rep, the, on 11, the insertion of items for revenue from the state, does that go directly to the prosecutor's office, the sheriff department, or is it a part of our budget?
This is, you're talking about item 11?
Yeah, 11, yes.
That goes directly to the prosecutor's office
That's what I
in
thought.
their overall budget.
So they oversee the dollars. for this
They
particular
oversee and administer the grant. That is correct. We accept the funds,
Okay.
and they manage it.
Very good. Additional questions on 11, 12, 13? No additional questions. Madam Clerk, we'll list 10, 11, 12, and 13. And Ralph, we'll go to 14.
14 is Department of Parks contract award to Simcoe Refrigeration to provide for maintenance and services of the refrigeration system at Rink 1 and Rink 2 at Cody Arena. We are exercising the two-year option amount not to exceed $248,870. The last two-year contract was $245,200. However, we spent to date a little over $200,000, and this is for scheduled maintenance plus as-needed repairs. Resolution 15, Department of Public Works, Division of Fleet Management, contract award to two of the lowest responsible bidder on a per item per region to provide for vehicle wash in the East and West region for Essex County fleet vehicles, one-year agreement, amount not to exceed $80,000. The East region vendor is Hands-On Car Care in Belleville, New Jersey, and the West region is the Livingston Auto Wash in Livingston, New Jersey. And in your packet is a list of services and cost.
Continue.
Resolution 16, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, contract award with Healy CM LLC to provide for construction management services for various projects, amount not to exceed $277,800. This will be funded out of our capital funding. We do have the following projects on the board, and the services for a construction manager is highly needed. And I'll just highlight the projects that Mr. Healy will be responsible and his team for overseeing. The floating dock, the treetop adventure course, the new playground at Turtleback Zoo, the new educational building at Turtleback Zoo, the new Public Works building, and we do have Mr. Healy with us. He's no stranger to this board. Mr. Healy has oversaw many projects in the County of Essex dating back to the Leroy Smith office building. And I'll invite Mr. Healy up to the mic if the board has any additional questions.
Yes, very good. Mr. Healy, do you have any additional comments on the service? Your name? Okay.
John Healy from Healy CM LLC.
Right. Do you have any additional comments to make other than what Mr. Shell
Only that I've performed for the county over the past several years. I've enjoyed the relationships and helping out as best I can, protecting the county's investment in its facilities.
All right. Freeholder Vice President Sebo and
Yes.
Freeholder Reed on 16.
Thank you very much. I'm asking on 16. questions about 16.
Yes.
There's various projects that are going to take place. Can you give us any idea of when they will be completed? For example, the floating dock.
The floating dock will be completed this July.
The treetop?
The treetop course will be August of this summer.
And that will be with the 2 parts? And it will be open to the public in August?
Correct.
The playground at Turtleback Zoo?
The playground, I believe, is also middle of August, but it's definitely this summer.
And what am I missing? The education building?
That's currently out for bid, so that's not been awarded yet.
I think that's the,
And am I missing any item?
Just the Public Works
Public
building,
Works.
that is currently out, that is not out.
Not out for bid.
That is not out for bid yet. It's, the
Okay,
documents are still
so
being reviewed.
Public Works and the education facility have not been put out yet
That's
for bid.
correct.
Okay, but we can expect the others to all be finished this summer.
Correct.
Very good, thank you. I really hope it's done by then.
Thank you, we will.
Thanks.
Freeholders.
I keep getting asked questions about it, that's why I'm bringing it up. Everyone wants to use the treetop
That was
and the
some-
boats.
Freeholders, do you have any additional questions?
Not on this one.
Not on this
Not of
one?
Mr. Healy, no.
Okay, I'll go back to the others then.
Thank you very
Additional
much.
questions, freeholders, comments on Resolution 16? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Healy, for the information that you provided to us. Let's go back now, freeholders, to Resolution 14. Question, comments?
That's not a question.
Mr. Polyvecchio?
Mr. Chilella, on 14, the Simcoe refrigeration contract, that was originally awarded, looks like 2011 as a 2-year contract, and the 2-year option was built in to that. It looks like either a 1 24-month or 2 12 months.
That is correct. And in the original, it called for a 1.5%
That's what I
rate
was-
index increase.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Okay, so that was built into the original contract?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I presume if you're exercising the option, they've been doing a good job?
Yes, Madam President. The response time, the repairs have been very favorable to the Parks Department.
No, I'm good. I haven't yet.
Thank you.
Okay, additional questions, freeholders, and we are on 14? None. We'll go to 15, question, comments. No additional comments, then Madam Clerk, we'll list 14, 15, and 16. Okay, Rep, you want to explain 17 at this time?
This is out of our Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering. This is a resolution consenting to the Township of Nutley Ordinance 3232, establishing a speed limit of 25 miles per hour for the entire length of Franklin Avenue, County Road 645. The Township of Nutley passed this, and they have requested that we consent to their ordinance. This will provide for overall safety along Franklin Avenue. It's a major thoroughfare for businesses. The only fiscal impact is minimal, and it will be for the county to install approximately 4 speed limit signs.
Okay, let's take 18, and we'll take the two together.
This is Department of Administration, contract with GAN Law Books to provide law books and periodicals. This is a 1-year agreement, amount not to exceed $50,000. This is an open-ended, as-needed contract. These law library books will primarily be utilized by county council, the prosecutor's office, but all agencies can utilize these periodicals,
Including us.
including the Board of Chosen Freeholders.
Very good. I think that's what we need in leadership, right?
We don't ask for too many of them,
No,
but
we don't.
one or two. One or two.
Absolutely. Okay, freeholders, question, comments on Resolution 18? If not, Madam Clerk, we'll list 17 and 18. And The resolutions before us is Resolution 1920, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32, and 33. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Did you say 27?
Yes, I did.
Thank you, Madam President. Just going back to bond ordinance ending in 0006, I'd just like to record my vote in the affirmative.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Okay, the commendations we listing from 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33.
19 as well.
19, yes. Yes, 19. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any added starter resolution?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, we'll go to the public comment session. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak at this time? Please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Madam President, freeholders. Douglas Freeman, Midway Park Sports Authority, P.O. Box 4252, Norton, New Jersey. I want to thank Dan Cervantes' office for removing the graffiti off of the eyesore that we had on Elizabeth Avenue, which is the bath house. Also want to thank Vinny and Carmen for all their help that they have provided to us at the Judge Booker's handball court. So now we can move forward with our Father's Day event. The grass is starting to grow and it's starting to really look beautiful. We have one concern, and it's a major concern. We brought it up at the last probably meeting or before that. That was the speed bumps that we was asking for. This week, someone in that particular area was speeding so fast that they knocked down the light pole and ran over the light pole. We need to have these speed bumps because we're looking at what if that was a child? That child would have been dead at the rate of speed, and you can still see the tracks that they left when going over the light pole. Through you, Madam President, we're asking for these speed bumps. The Sheriff Department suggests that we put mobile speed bumps so we can move them out periodically throughout the season so they're not designated in one area. Through you, Madam President, I'm asking that you look into this particular matter. Thank you.
Okay. We will respond to you as we always do with all residents coming before the board. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak?
Good evening. Edward Deuce, citizen, East Orange. Through you, Madam President, I received your letter. It was in reference to the question that we asked about the county having oversight on the first tee. Right now, in the parent council bylaws, they have a clause to have one individual from the county, one individual from Metropolitan to sit in on the executive board. So far, that has not been done. We have been trying to do that ourselves, but until it is official from the county to have a representative to sit on the executive board, we're at loss. We've been trying to bring to this particular body to have an oversight. The county's got a tremendous part of the first tee. And we do not want the first tee to run down and just disappear, because some people in our group want it to go out. Now, since 2006, since we were granted to be the first tee, You've had first tees come up in Connecticut, Long Island, Galloping Hill, Plainfield, all after we have started a first tee. And if you go to the records, about a year ago or 9 months ago, we had parents come here and to explain to you what is happening in the first tee in Newark. They were disappointed. Some of them took their kids out. In fact, most of the parents did. We want to keep our kids in Essex County in the first tee, because the contract between Essex County and the first tee had a 20-year contract plus a 2-year, 10-year option. So it looks like we got 46 more years to go. Thank you.
Very good. And thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak at this time? If not, Madam Clerk, we'll go to other business. Freeholders, comments, other business at this time, freeholders? Ralph, do you have any comments that you would like to make at this time?
No, Madam President, I just want to thank the board for your excellent showing at our open house.
Yes.
We did have a sizable crowd come out Saturday. It was a free event. I think families had a great time. The weather didn't cooperate fully, but I think we all had a great time. I think the residents of the County of Essex wanted to express their gratitude.
Very good, and thank you. And it was a great day. I think it gets larger every year. So let's see what happens next year. Okay. Additional comments, freeholders? If none, let me just read the freeholder questions, public comments from our May 7th meeting. Mr. Freeman commented that the school board at the Little League baseball field that was refurbished by the county has never worked, and Dan Salvanti is aware of this. I think the memo went to the administration on the 13th, Mr. Freeman, and we responded on the 15th, and you should be receiving the response within the next day. And I think that was the only comments that we had. No other comments at this time, freeholders? If not, then a motion to adjourn.